Hi guys, this is Wenzes. Welcome to today's episode. I want to talk to you about extroverted feeling and introverted thinking. The last time I talked about the combination of those two functions has probably been over a year ago, and there have been a lot of new insights that I want to share with you and see what your thoughts are on this. So stay tuned. So hi guys, as I said, welcome to today's episode. This is not only an episode based on extroverted feeling and introverted thinking, but much more of this combination of second and third function. Everything I'm talking about in this video is going to be INFJ, or you could also use it as ISFJ related, not ISFJ. Yeah, ISFJ, right. But it's gonna be much more, like I'm gonna talk about it, of course, from an INFJ perspective, because I'm an INFJ, but I believe that you can really apply this to each personality type, thinking about like the second and third function and how you combine that and you create a reality that is the most beneficial to you. So as I said, I want to try to keep it more of a documentary style within the next few months and see how that is going, because there's always new things I'm learning, and there are things months ago that were true for me then but that I have developed further now. And when it comes to like the second and third function, I have realized that for me it's very like positive and has had a lot of benefits if I really approached it of I am first and second function, I do and I become first, second, third, and first and third, like all those combinations combined as something I do within this life. Oh God, I haven't talked about this for so long that I actually forgot like all the terms, which has happened to a lot of us, which has happened to me. If we just kind of absorb and try to like make out understanding of the world by just absorbing everything without putting like really extroverted feeling out, meaning expressing who we are, what our values are, and what kind of rules we set for the people around us if they want to be around us. And this is, nothing new, like when it comes to that part, that we have to learn to really express ourselves with first and second function, meaning we put out, through our second function what our first function is and everything that we have understood. For me, that means that no matter where I go, if I like started my new job like a year and a half ago, if I get into a group of new people, whatever it is, even if that's a situation that I don't know all the rules of, as in the TI kind of things, I still have certain understandings of how I expect to be treated, how I expect others to treat like a third party, how I experience life, how much I really am present, and I want people to recognize my presence in that way. And it really, like, the best example I can give, and I'll really try to bring like more examples, because this has been said to me more often that I should really give real-time examples so we can really talk about it. So if I go and I'm at work and I'm in a completely new situation when it comes to not only the dynamic within that sphere, but also what is important there, what kind of like knowledge things are really cared for, how well my coworkers actually know what they're doing, like from the function on and all that kind of area, like really work stuff, like completely leaving that out. I come in there and I said I want to have a certain kind of respect, and I will give that to you too. And if you don't treat me a certain way, then I'm gonna lash out, and I'm just gonna let people know this is not how you can treat me. And this is only to do with how you experience life, because I see it with people around me that this is very difficult for them, especially if you're talking to somebody who has like a higher authority than you, higher standing in that group that you have, that they kind of always feel that means that they should put themselves below that person when it comes to just interactions between people. And I think this is where the FE really comes in, or the NI and FE, or in general what you should really put like the first and second function first is, this is who I am. It may be that if I go into the situation being that person, that with that attitude and the way I am, it's not going to work out. Maybe if I go there and you really have to respect your authorities in a way that you want, like the authorities expect you to respect them more than they should respect you back, and not from a way of how much they know or what have they achieved in so much work, but just like in general, like how much value you give that person like as a person. And if you go in that, and maybe you're really in a world where if you're not giving that other person more respect, then you're just not getting anywhere. But that's a risk I am willing to take. That's something I already overcome, that I knew, well, if I'm not getting that kind of respect that I need in order to strive and thrive and be like the best version of myself and all that kind of stuff, then maybe this job is not for me. You know, maybe I should look for something else in a way. And I have, in a lot of ways, really rubbed some people off in a certain way, and not always positive throughout that attitude. But in the end, people who didn't like it, they just went somewhere else and did their thing. Or people like adopted and said, okay, well, I'm gonna, you know, adapt to that and react differently, because in the end, I know that I'm also respecting that other person. Like, I respect myself, and the more you respect yourself, the more you can respect others. Because normally, if you have people who kind of like always put you down, you can be sure of that those people are also being put down by people above them, and they allow people to put them down. So the more you are confident in like the respect you want from like others to give you, because you respect yourself enough, the more in the end you'll also respect others, because there's no dependency on it. You're not being nice to them because you think like, yeah, I'm nice to that person because then they're gonna get me, you know, get ahead or anything. You're just being like nice and respectful because this is who you are. And what I really like realized is this is who I am. Those are the values that I go in, you know, a new situation. Like those things adapt about how much I want other people to understand and respect me and so on. But generally, it's not like I used to be, where I just go in and I don't reveal anything of myself, and I just look, okay, this person thinks like this and this one thinks like this, and I'm just gonna adapt to that. There's certain rules about me that I go in with. And now we get to the third function, because the third function is, on the one hand, something we have to be very careful of, you know, not to get into NITI loops, as I said, to like really just absorb, and, you know, not put anything out, and therefore we just take on too much and it gets difficult. But on the other hand, we have to understand that we want our third function. Like, I don't remember exactly what the word was, but it's like something we really want. Like the third function is, you know, something that we strive for, something that our hidden agenda, that's how it was called, our hidden agenda in a way. This is something we want, this is something we strive for, and I see it so much like in me and in others, and we have to be really careful how we deal with that, because it has so much great potential, and it can also be such a downfall. But that doesn't mean that we can just say, okay, all I am is first and second function. All I do is I just express myself and this is who I am. This is never going to be enough. And it's also not going to be enough to be, you know, just absorbing things. What I have learned is I am first and second, but I do first, second, third, and first, third. For example, for your career, for what you want to achieve, where you want to grow, because you're always going to be striving to that third function. And it's our job to find a way to use that in a productive way. For example, my friend is an ISFP, so their third function is NI. And if she's not careful, like I can tell, she has like all kind of scenarios, like how could this develop, and how, like, you know, NI is a third function, pretty much like looking, how could this turn out, how could this turn out, and it also could like get into a negative spiral, because she like puts in all her emotions, like her FI as a first function, and then she like just goes into all that depth with it, and it can be really, really dangerous. And you see it also with for example, ESTPs and ENTPs. You can see if they're not like really confident in who they are and their belief system, there's much more of, you know, trying to be the center of attention, trying to get approval, you know, if you're not careful, like having this FE as their third function. But this will always be part of us, our third function. It will be always something that is fun to us and which we can grow. So me going into that situation and knowing that, you know, I want to understand and build a system that works for me, like an understanding of life and an understanding where I can achieve and become more. You know, everything you experience is within your mind anyways, but you want to grow within that world. So for example, if you decide you're gonna be in that, you know, that part of your job, for example, you have like 1,000 people and you go into an area of 100 people because this is the one you like the most, and you want to, get better in that 100% area. You want to achieve more. You want to be somebody, just grow. Use your knowledge, your understanding of the system to improve everything. And sometimes you even get to a point where you understood like the system so much that you adjust your FE, that you say, well, okay, I understand so much of the situation, I can even put more out of who I am. I have to even like compromise myself less and less, and like, take more lead roles and so on, because I've understood enough of that system that I know how to like take a much more leader role within that system. So you adjust kind of the FETI combination, but it's not how it used to be for me, that you go so much into NITI that at some point you need to have like a reality switch, or a reality. For me, it was like I had to wake up. There was like a complete change of reality at some point where I need to really put out my FE of everything that I know that I can use. But if you do it like gradually, you make little adjustments like this, it really helps a lot. I really am surprised how much you can actually do once you really set those rules of NIFE, or first and second function. This is who I am, and this is how I go into a situation. The less you stand for, the more you fall for something. If you stand for something, then people around you will adjust. You will either know at some point, like there's just too much resistance, I don't feel like it, or the resistance will go away. People will do their other thing, or they will adjust to you. That's a natural thing. But the more you're like aware of this is who I am, the more you can actually concentrate on those things you want to do, which is in a lot of ways your third function. If you're an ENFJ, you want to feel strong, you want to do more SE things, but you can only do that perfectly and grow from a space if you already put like FE and I out, meaning you have relationships with people, but you always go like a little bit back and look at it from a little bit of a distant position, and then you use your power to create something in a way, a world that feels better for you. And that's how it is with us, or with every other personality type. I have learned from myself, and this is something I wasn't aware of before, that I am my first and second function. This is who I am in this world. I'm flamboyant. I love to express myself. I'm much more loud than I used to be, and much more expressive. But that's just who I am. But I still live, like I work for, or my job is a lot of NITI. So this is my personality, and then this is what I like to do, and where I like to grow, and where I like to achieve, and more, and like, become more of who I am. And having that in the back of my mind has really helped me a lot. And I think that each personality type, if they really look at it from that perspective, it can help them. For example, if you have an ISFP, the more, like my friend, for example, the more she actually does, like she expresses her emotions in a physical way of, well, this is what I want to do, so I'm just gonna go for it, and just being like really out there and being conquerish, and just being active and expressive, and just doing and doing and doing, the less she has really like situations where she gets into like the first and third loop, meaning she just thinks about stuff and how they could turn out, because she has like real life experiences that show her, oh, okay, this is how far I can go. I don't need to like think about what could happen, because I just do more. The more you do, the less you kind of think about it. But that doesn't mean that once she does things, she can use that NI to actually think, oh, how is this going to develop? How can I grow from this? And so on. But you always do it from a basis of, I express my emotions in this reality, and then I look what I can do from there. And this is, I think, with the first and second, and then the third function, a really good approach, and it's helped me a lot. And it has taken a lot of questions I had away from me of, oh, I should be just NIFE, I should only express myself, this is who I am, and realizing, no, you actually like TI. You want to have that in your life, and you want to grow in that area, and you want to achieve something in that area. You just have to go in and being the NIFE person that you are right now, knowing you can adjust it at all time, but you're going in with a set of rules and not just observing other people's rules. So let me know what you think about it, if this resonates with you, if you've had similar experiences, how this has helped you. I'm thankful for all your comments, and they really keep me motivated to keep producing videos. So thank you so much. Remember that all videos you can also listen to as audios when you're on, on the road or anything through SoundCloud. The link is going to be below in the description box. Thank you for all your subscriptions and like the video if you do. Talk to you next time. Bye.